Mostly people are protecting their troubled hearts. And we run away from our lives so often, constantly engaged in the endless movement of form, the waves, oh God, the waves, and never really easing back, never really taking account, never really falling into the openness, never really taking the breath out until our dying day almost. Even the spiritual things become a rolling doingness without much regard for kicking back, relaxing, taking our foot off the pedal. And I don't mean just leisure, I mean really, and within ourselves, to see the constant agitation, the constant movement, the constant mechanism of seeking, of desiring, of running away, of avoiding, of protecting. So much of it is built around a kind of protection. We build these lives and we don't know actually what we're doing most of the time because we're just caught up like everybody else in the endless movement, you know, that we've been led to believe is the way to live life. From childhood to retirement, a constant like wheel that we're on. It's endless. There's no way to live. You know, built on the sort of some kind of assumption that if we move through, then we get something, or get some reward, or maybe the retirement, or the getting of money, or the seeking comfort, or getting a good house, or having the cushion of a couple of $1,000,000 in the bank is some secret allure. And maybe it is, I'm not arguing with that. But I'm sort of speaking to the endlessness of it without really getting to see what is going on here, caught in an unconscious mechanism that we don't even decide on, that we've inherited in some sort of way, caught in a cultural momentum that suggests that if we keep on going, we're going to get somewhere. What if we're not? What if we're not going? What if we're not going to get somewhere? And we are already where we want to be, but we just don't see it. What if? What if this, I've said it before, what if this is as good as it gets? I don't mean on the surface level, I mean on the deepest level. And actually the only thing that is the essential problem is the constant thinking that we have to move away in order to find some kind of satisfaction or peace or inner equanimity. It's that very thought that's the issue here, not the external, not anything to do with the world or our moving in the world, but just the very core thought that I have to, it's somewhere up ahead, but it's not here. I'll find myself, I'll find my peace, I'll find my freedom, I'll find my grace, I'll find my equanimity, I'll find my at last I've arrivedness somewhere up ahead when this condition is satisfied, or I've resolved this issue or that thing, or, you know, but not here. Anything but not here. Not now. Not, you know, if I say, you know, what if this is as good as it gets? And it's only the veil of thinking that it's not as good as it gets that actually causes the trouble. You know, where does that land? Or does that cause more suffering? Because it sort of shatters the idea of striving and seeking. And I'm not against those things. Sometimes they pull us through some difficult times. But I'm saying as a habit, as an unconscious habit to live by, I'd be cautious about that because it's unexamined. Whatever's unexamined in the human condition tends to have an unconscious momentum driven by assumptions or beliefs that we've inherited, not that are our own, born of conscious awareness. So it's really, I guess the point of what I'm saying in this short video is to bring everything to the light and to examine what we're doing and why we're doing it, and whether we're just caught in a momentum of the stream of other people, or else we've decided for ourselves and we've looked for ourselves at what really we're doing and why we're doing it. And then we get the opportunity to say, you know, what's here now? What's here now? I mean within, not without. If you look to external circumstances all the time, it's futile. They only alleviate some of the suffering, but they don't alleviate the existential or core suffering that we experience. They only ameliorate or pacify some of the external conditions. We have a nice house, or we get a cushion of money, so we create some sense of comfort and control and protection and security. But that only alleviates a certain amount of the human condition and the human suffering. It doesn't actually alleviate the core wound of suffering, which most of us carry in some way, shape or form. And so the whole point of this conversation and this direction of the inquiry is to actually get to that. Because if that can be solved, if that can be resolved, the core wound of our suffering, and it might be the same or it might be different for each of us, it brings an awareness that actually this is it. And that creates a freedom. It doesn't create a depression. It doesn't create a sort of, it might create an existential crisis for a while, but actually that changes. Because we realize the illusion that we might have been living by. This is all grist for the mill of stirring up and looking at and the deeper inquiry into who we are and what we're doing, why we're doing it. And not to change that necessarily, but to see it. All of this is about awareness. Not just that awareness, but actually a very, bird's eye, eagle's eye view of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So then it gives us a certain intelligence, a certain amount of really good information to see what the motivations are behind our actions. And that changes something. That changes something for us. Because it means we get the opportunity to step off the wheel, the unconscious wheel of conditioning that most of us are just driven by endlessly. It goes on and on and on until we die, or there's some intervention in it. Either life comes along and throws a curveball at us, in which case we either seize the opportunity for change, or else we turn into a kind of victim of life. or else we see what we're up to and use those moments, those opportunities as openings, or else we open now. And that's what this is for, to say, why don't we open now and go in, see what's here now, because this is it. This moment is as good as it gets. In that sense, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm actually just trying to be true.